is going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
Big Ten champions. Big Ten champs.
National champions, yes.
Oklahoma City bound the Oregon Ducks.
Awesome day to be a Duck, man.
Boom inside. Touchdown Oregon. He gets loose. Fires. Hit. Pops the three. Oh, yeah. It's all Oregon.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider.
It's about how to be a group of people that know how to love each other to the absolute fullest.
Pleasure, joy to be with them each and every day. And I can't wait for the future.
It's just fun to be a part of a community that cares, that is passionate, and when we come together, powerful things can happen.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck athletics.
Has everybody dried off yet? I want to make sure. That was a eventful game, a fun game, a gritty game, an adverse game, but a game that Oregon ended up as the victor over Wisconsin on Saturday. A 21-7 victory for Oregon football. Good win for the Ducks. The starting quarterback Dante Moore came out of the game in the middle of it. Brock Thomas came in, had a strong second half, led Oregon to a 21-7 victory. We'll hear from Coach Dan Lanning. Good news on the Dante Moore injury front, as well as Brock Thomas after he led his team in the second half to a 21-7 victory. A grateful victory for Oregon. The tie-dye was great, and it never rains in Autzen Stadium. It didn't rain on Saturday. It was just an atmospheric river, guys. That was all. Sometimes the river was flowing left to right. Sometimes it was flowing right to left. Sometimes it was doing both at the same time. You just never know. But that's the type of game that Oregon won in a gritty, smash-mouth football type of battle, a 21-7 victory against Wisconsin. We'll hear from so many student-athletes as well as Coach Dan Lanning on the show today. Also, yesterday, Oregon soccer in their final regular season game got a huge upset victory over Washington. 2-1 over Washington. In the 88th minute, Oregon scored the go-ahead goal. Lauren Kenny was right there on the goal line to get it into the net. Oregon gets a big win over a top 10 Washington team. It's the first Big Ten victory for Tracy Joyner in her tenure here as Oregon head coach. And it just felt like the Ducks were going to break through on the pitch. It took till the final game. They got that victory on the pitch. Also over the weekend on Friday night, first time to get to see Oregon men's basketball at Matthew Knight Arena as they played against Utah. I'm excited. I am excited for Oregon basketball season. Some of the newcomers, it was really fun to watch them play. Big E in the middle looks like he's going to be a factor. TK Simpkins on the outside. And then you got Wei Lin dishing dimes to everybody. There's so many more. Excited to see what Oregon basketball is going to bring to the table this season. But you don't have to wait for an Oregon basketball game to get into Matthew Knight Arena, because tonight is Knight Mayhem. It's the third annual Knight Mayhem. Join Oregon Athletics and select Oregon student athletes from a few different teams, whether Oregon men's basketball, women's basketball, acrobatics, and tumbling. There will be so many student athletes that are going to be in Matthew Knight Arena tonight. Admission is free for the Halloween-themed Knight Mayhem. Starts at 6:30, ends at 8:30. Cutoff for admission is at 8:15. Make sure you get to Matthew Knight Arena tonight. Costumes are encouraged. Candy and fun are guaranteed. And all attendees will get a ticket voucher for a non-conference men's or women's basketball game. So make sure you're at Matthew Knight Arena tonight, enjoying the spooky festivities around MKA as we get geared up for basketball season. And, well, before you know it, we're less than a week away? We're less than a week away from basketball season. It'll be fun to get back at Matthew Knight Arena. Now we're getting back to Oregon football, because it was a big win for the Ducks over Wisconsin, a game that going in, Oregon was expected to win by a little bit more. But you get there, and it's an atmospheric river, And all of a sudden, Wisconsin, they're winning the battle at the line of scrimmage in the first quarter. This might be trouble. It wasn't trouble. Oregon figured it out. The Ducks got it rolling on the ground. Jordan Davison, 6 carries for 102 yards and 2 touchdowns. Noah Whittington, 14 carries for 97 yards. Almost 2 100-yard rushers. Oregon ran for 203 total yards on the ground. Oregon's quarterbacks combined for 13 of 19 through the air. I was on Twitter this week, and I saw a clip of a Dante Moore throw, and it looked like he was throwing a slider. I keep wanting to call Brock Thomas Brock Moore because it's the combination of Dante Moore and Brock Thomas. And, of course, Brock Moore was Oregon's closer in baseball 2 years ago. And so I keep wanting to say Brock Moore, and it looked like Dante Moore was throwing a Brock Moore wipeout slider because of the wind at Autzen Stadium. It was a game that Oregon had to battle to get a victory in against Wisconsin. They did. 21-7, a good win. Oregon now heads into a work week as the Ducks move up to number 6 in the AP poll. They continue to get victories. They continue to set themselves up for success at 7-1 on the season as we move into this last third of the regular season. Good win for Oregon football, continuing to find a way to win despite the adverse conditions and honoring the Grateful Dead. Coach Dan Lanning, after the game, in the postgame, brought to you by Willamette Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center, better cancer care close to home. His reactions after a conference win in some difficult conditions against Wisconsin.
A little bit of a fun environment, different game tonight. I thought our fans were unbelievable. Ty Burrell kicking us off with shout there in the third quarter was pretty awesome, something you couldn't ignore. And it became really apparent early in this game what kind of game it was going to be, and we had to figure out a way that we could run the ball effectively. I think after that 99-yard drive, we really saw that, our guys take that by the horns and find a way to be able to attack. That's a good defense when it comes to trying to rush the ball against them. It's really difficult, and this became that kind of game. We had some really unselfish play from our players. I thought they were engaged the entire game, and it was really clear that it's going to be hard to be able to throw in some of those conditions. Saw some guys step up when their number was called. Dante got dinged. Think he's going to be in great shape. Was probably in position that he could have gone in, but for Brock to come in and perform the way he did, really excited, for him to be able to do that. I know the players were really proud of him to start so poorly on third down offensively and then turn around and finish so strong in the second half, taking advantage of third down opportunities was big. And then defense, played lights out today. They did a really good job of controlling, Wisconsin, excluding that last score by them. I thought we had some dynamic plays in special teams and certainly some stuff we got to clean up. So the 9 penalties is troublesome. We got to be better there. And there were some penalties on some big plays that could have been difference makers for us. But outside of that, I'm proud of how our players played in a tough environment, in a tough situation, and able to just take advantage of every opportunity in front of them.
What did you like specifically from Brock coming in there in the high-pressure moment after Dante goes out? Yeah,
the way he performed, I guess he went, 4 for 4. He handled some tough snaps. It's tough in a game like that. The ball's, obviously wet. It's raining, but to be able to get us in some of those checks, he made some tough runs. I thought Brock, did everything that we asked him to do in those moments.
Was Dante out for anything beyond the bleed, or was there any other?
No, I think we could have pushed to get him back in, but he's going to be good. He had bloody nose. He got hit pretty good, and he looks like he's in great shape now.
You mentioned it, but that 99-yard drive felt like it was pivotal to kind of setting the tone.
Yeah.
At what point there did it feel like, let's just run the ball, let's run the ball, let's run the ball?
How many times did we run it in the second half? A lot. I mean, we felt like it was going to be that kind of game. And, there it was so critical with us being able to start off with the ball. Obviously, we didn't take advantage of, the onside kick there to start the game. But to come out in the second half knowing we're going to get the ball, that was really a big sequence to flip the middle 8 and get 14 points. They're relatively quick, at the end of half, and then the 7 at the beginning of the second half. And when the defense is playing well, you just realize, points are critical, but it's okay to use the clock. And we used the clock well today. Played the brand of football that was necessary to win this game.
Georgia's second touchdown run, Alex Harkey had a pancake at the line of scrimmage, then another one near the end zone. What kind of energy does that provide the team when you have a guy who plays with that kind of aggressiveness and physicality like that out there? Yeah,
I mean, he's a guy that has juice every single day in practice, and it shows up on game day. I didn't get to see those particular blocks, but there were some big blocks, and they were doing a good job early. Us not getting hats at the line of scrimmage. They were swimming some blocks for us. I think, the coaches made some good adjustments, but guys like Alex and his physicality is going to show up in a game like that.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago when Jordan led the team in carries, I think against Indiana, you said you were just riding the hot hand there. What did you see from him today? What was it, the hot hand again, or was it something more than that?
I mean, he's playing well, right? He's playing well. You're going to make sure he gets opportunities in this game again, set up for the type of physicality you need to run with. I thought he ran, really well tonight.
Coach, there's not many freshmen like Jordan Davidson having a season like he has as a running back. I'm just wondering, what makes it so impressive, especially when it comes to his vision and seemingly somehow finding the end zone, and how do you feel like he's finding that success?
I think the most impressive thing about Jordan is how much he's able to handle. He's a really, really smart player. We do a lot formationally. We have a lot of different plays. For him to be able to execute those plays at a really high level, when the call comes in, he's doing his job. He's doing what he's asked to do, and that's difficult when you have as much volume as we have. And then to play it the way he plays it, he's a very unselfish player. You never ever heard him ask for the ball once. He's just as excited to go block for his teammates. So, and we have a lot of guys on our team like that, but Jordan certainly is showing those characteristics right now.
How were you able to get your offense to adjust to sort of a more traditional Big Ten style football game with the slow goings early on?
Yeah, we just had to settle in and figure out what runs we're going to be able to work. And it's tough. They take away, they're really well coached on defense. They had, some tells that they were able to, trigger on certain looks for us. We had to find the look that worked for us. And sometimes you got to settle in a game like that. But once we found it, I thought it, I don't know what we had rushing in the first quarter. I think we were negative yards rushing, right? And to be able to finish the game with 203 yards rushing, I think shows that we figured it out.
When you talk about meeting your own standards in the first half specifically, in the passing game particularly, when it was still not raining as much, how do you feel like you guys either upheld or didn't your own standards?
I'll have to watch the film and see, what they took away. Like I said, I thought they played some good defense there early on. It took us a while to figure out what's going to be successful for us. But we missed some opportunities, I think, early in the game, just a little bit off here and there. But we'll certainly improve and go attack it. Got to watch the film first.
No points in the first quarter. How crucial is it to start off fast, and what do you think was the difference between starting off fast and not?
I guess it wasn't that crucial to start off fast since we still won. But, I love to start off fast when we can, right? We were probably feeling each other out a little bit at the beginning of the game. They were playing good D. We were playing good D. It was going to be who made the first mistake. You're not always going to have a game where you go score 21 points in the first quarter. It just doesn't always work like that, especially you look at the defense they've played this season. They've played pretty good defense. And we knew we were going to be aggressive. Like, there were opportunities, obviously, to start off the game there with the onside kick. Felt like, we tried to fake punt there at the end of the game. Felt like that was something where we were going to get all-out pressure. I'm disappointed that we weren't able to take advantage of either one of those opportunities, but we're going to continue to try to find edges like that in games like this.
At what point during his time here did Brock show that you could play winning football? And I guess I'm curious, what point in this season did it become clear he was capable of doing this now?
Yeah, it just shows up in practice every day. And we got a lot of quarterbacks that are playing at a really high level, but he's been very consistent. He understands the offense. He's been a part of it for a long time. He was the guy that was down there chopping us up on the scout team and earning his stripes. And he's worked really hard. And nobody's earned that more than Brock.
How and when during the week does the idea of starting off with an onside kick start for you?
Yeah, Sunday we start looking at film, trying to find moments that we think that there might be an advantage, and you don't just do it just to do it. You feel like the look's there, right? We felt like the look was there. It was something we checked. Coach Fickle has a history of deferring, right? So we thought there was a great chance that if they win the toss, we would be able to either or, right? There was going to be a chance for us to get the ball in the second half, or vice versa, be in that situation. So we just wanted to. Once we saw it was there, we wanted to confirm it was there. And then, I don't know that we executed it perfectly, but we had a lot of guys running down the field with their hair on fire trying to go get the ball, and it worked out.
You mentioned kind of adjusting to the conditions as the game wore on, but you still go to the play where Janoris scores. Why was that the right play in that moment, and just what was your confidence level given the conditions and everything else?
Yeah, we knew it was Janoris or nothing, right? Brock was he's either throwing that ball for a touchdown or he's throwing it away. So we felt confident in his decision making in that moment. It was something we felt like that was a look and a set that we've been in and run the ball pretty effectively multiple times this year. So to be able to have some tendency breakers and play off of that was good, and it's looked really good in practice. We've ran that play for 7 weeks, and now it showed up in a moment where we could use it.
Aaron Flowers is a captain for this game. What went into that decision, and what have you just seen him grow throughout his time here?
Yeah, just the work he puts in every single week. Aaron's a guy, if you talk about growth in our program, he's probably a guy that's grown more than anybody else. It was tough his first year going through it, trying to figure out where's his role, and he's just a guy that's worked, and he's become a guy that we really trust. plays really physical at the point of attack, gets people lined up, does everything we ask him to do, and all that work's really paying off, and Aaron's playing really good football for us.
Fans are still very much fretting about the backup quarterback situation, Dan. Just what aren't Austin or Luke doing, or what do they need?
Like, our backup quarterback went 4 for 4 tonight. We won the game.
You don't have to tell me. I'm just...
Well, then tell them. I mean, they should go to our locker room and see them carry Brock Thomas up in the locker room after the game. Like, our players see it every day in practice. When has Brock come in and not performed well for us this season? He's done what we've asked him to do every time he's come in. So people should stop worrying about it. And they should also know that those other quarterbacks are doing a really good job in practice too. But Brock's playing well, guys, right? Watch the film.
When you have a punter as good as James and have that much of a weapon, does that allow you to play with a little bit more freedom on offense, knowing that if you're in a situation where you have to punt, that you're pretty much in a good situation?
I don't think so. No, I don't. I mean, we trust our punter, right? But it doesn't make you call the offense different, knowing that that Ferg's going to be able to go create a play for you on 4th down necessarily. But he's playing extremely well. I mean, like I said, it was a punting competition today for a little bit, flipping the field back and forth. Ferg's done, a great job. Obviously, connects on the punt fake. If we don't have the holding call too, he's made a lot of big plays for us this season. So we got a ton of confidence in him. I don't think that makes us call the offense different, though.
Last year, Wisconsin held you to a low in points. What adjustments were you most proud to see your team execute in this year's game versus last year's game?
2 different games. Again, I'll have to watch the film to see, what we adjusted to well. I did think that we struggled to run the ball, in that game, and we walked, coming into this, we ran it 45 times tonight, right? We said we weren't going to give up on the run no matter what. We're just going to figure out what runs were going to be effective, and it took all of them, right, for us to get there.
This is the first, they said, it's the first ever tie-dye out that's ever been happened in the NCAA. Just how cool was this game to be able to collaborate with the Grateful Dead, see the way that Autzen showed out tonight, despite the conditions? What was just the experience like all week leading up to tonight?
Yeah, the gear was awesome. I had the officials coming up to me, asking about the swag, so I guess that's a good deal. But yeah, overall, it was a cool experience. It introduced me to some music that I didn't realize I knew that I knew. So I'm a little more caught up on the Grateful Dead now, but pretty cool it's just a good example of how unique Oregon is and their ability to connect in so many different ways, and this is a place that does stuff that nobody else does and will continue to do stuff that nobody else does. Excuse me.
Coach, don't know if I'm remembering this correctly, but on the Janoris play, was that the same play call, I believe, from last year? I don't remember if it's against Washington or another game, but
it's similar.
It was
very
similar. Yeah, if it was the same, if it was similar, what was different, and it was just what was going through your mind when you saw the ball going to him, looks like you catch it, kind of bobbles it, and then obviously hauls it in for the touchdown.
Yeah, it goes back kind of what I said. It's either him or no one. So you want that ball to be in a place where it's not necessarily the easiest one to catch, but the conditions playing a little bit different. But he was open, right? He's wide open, and he did a great job coming down with it. I've seen that dance in practice a million times too. I was hoping he would wait to get to the sideline to do it, but it worked out.
Just your assessment in a really wet environment of the ball handling in general for your team.
Yeah, we had some bobble snaps. It's tough, in that environment. But to be able to control the ball, and they really did a decent job as well, controlling the ball. We got it out a couple times. We just didn't finish with it. So hopefully in those games, you hope the defense can create them and offense can protect it. And our offense ultimately did.
Feels like a while ago now, but that 99-yard drive before half, where it goes from 9:30 to half to a 2-minute situation. Take us through from what you could see on the couple of completions in particular to Jeremiah, and then the one to Jamari over the middle that then springs. What was Nate doing where we've seen this before, but an 8.5-minute drive obviously stands out?
Yeah, I think it starts with how they took the field. We did a coming out period in Wednesday in practice, and we put the ball at the -1. It's funny how those moments, show up in the game, but the guys had a lot of confidence. They had juice and energy throughout. And again, I think there was just a bunch of unselfish play throughout this game. I talked about it. Every wideout in games like this, generally you come to the sideline and start saying, I'm open, but they don't realize how hard it is to throw. But for us to have some critical completions in that, the ball security that showed up, I saw a conscientious effort from our players to cover the ball up. That was something we didn't feel great about in the Rutgers game. And a couple other moments this season, they did a really good job of protecting it and then just continue to chug forward. And then somewhere in that series, you kind of go from let's go score quick mode to let's eat up as much clock as we can to not leave the opponent a lot of time, and we were able to do that.
That's Dan Lanning, his reactions post-game to Oregon's win over Wisconsin. It started with Dante Moore. The starting quarterback had a good day. The backup quarterback, he picked up right where Dante left off. We're hearing from Brock Thomas when we return after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear Truckin' Awesome, Toyota Tundra's got heart-pounding horsepower. Tacoma is one rugged ride, and the 4Runner is tough as nails. Truck yeah. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by one of your local branches today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear Truckin' Awesome, Toyota Tundra's got heart-pounding horsepower. Tacoma is one rugged ride, and the 4Runner is tough as nails. Truck yeah. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
We're back inside the Country Financial Studio. It's Duck Insider brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Ryan Milano here with you on a Monday post-Oregon football victory over Wisconsin as the Ducks move to 7-1 after a 21-7 win, led really in large part by their backup quarterback. Dante Moore got hit hard, forearm went through his face mask, got to his nose a little bit. Coach Lanning said the nose was a little bit bloody. Dante Moore should be okay, but it did lead to Brock Thomas getting into the ball game, and Brock led the offense down the field on two different scoring drives. It was 7-0 when he came in. It was 21-0 at one point with Brock Thomas under center. Good day for Brock Thomas. Didn't throw an incompletion, 4 for 4, 46 yards, threw a touchdown, and led two scoring drives. He spoke with the media after the win, and his team, including Dante Moore, you'll hear a cameo from in this interview, excited for the backup quarterback, Brock Thomas.
What have these last couple of weeks of opportunities been like for you? What has this felt like, particularly not just to do it last week, but to do it here at home?
It's been good. We've just been, everyone in that room, being ready for an opportunity. You never want to see a guy go down, but everyone in that room, we're all ready and we're all capable.
Brock, growing up in Eugene and watching this team, how many times did you envision your first touchdown pass would come under center to an offensive lineman?
I did not expect it to be that, but I was really excited for him to get a touchdown again.
Dan mentioned that you might have been carried to the locker room on the shoulders of players. Did that happen, and what was the feeling like after the game?
I love you, Brock. You did so baby.
Yeah, they picked me up after Dan talked to all of us, and I got to break us down. That was pretty special.
You're like a third-generation Duck. Your dad, your grandpa played football here. I'm just wondering, for you, I'm sure growing up, this was the dream. What was it like? I mean, it's one thing to come out and play snaps maybe in moments that aren't consequential, but to be in the game when it was, what was that just like for you?
It was pretty special. It was really cool to be out there with all the guys. You know, they put their trust in me. I felt confident. We were just out there. It felt really good. It was a lot of fun.
Walk us through kind of what the adrenaline and the emotion feels like for you when you come into the game, it's still close, kind of the middle part of the game versus the other opportunities this season when the game's kind of in hand at the end.
Yeah, just treating it all the same, I think. Just going in there being confident, not getting too high, getting too low, just being calm, doing my job. That's about it.
You never just want to see like your teammate go down, especially with how close I know your room is. But in that moment, did you feel a little nervous? Did you feel ready? Did you feel prepared? How would you just describe the feeling, running out on the field knowing like this is my turn?
Yeah, I think I just felt pretty excited. I felt pretty prepared. We all prepare each week to play. You never want to see a guy go down, but when that happens, you just get up, get a couple throws in, get the play call, go out there and just operate.
Would you assess how you played? I mean, 4 for 4. Obviously had some ups and downs with holding the ball. It's a wet game. That's to be expected. But just how would you assess your performance?
I thought it was all right. I mean, I think there was a couple plays that I definitely want back. But, I mean, I just think going out there and operating and being clean was what I wanted to do.
How'd you feel like the way that Jordan and Noah, what they were able to do on the ground in that second half, was able to ease you into things once you got in the game?
Oh, yeah. That running back room is insane. They're just handing the ball to those guys, seeing the work that they do, the linemen up front getting downfield, the receivers out there blocking. It was a true team effort out there.
Dan always told you guys to block everything out, all the outside noise, but you've been the subject of a lot of noise recently with people wondering about the backup quarterback situation. How do you think you've been at blocking that out, and what's that experience been like for you?
I mean, just not really looking at it. Yeah, no one, everyone in that room, we all know that we're all working for the same goal to get a win. That's what we're focused on.
What's the wettest game you've ever played in, and how did this compare?
This was probably the wettest game, I think. There was maybe one other game, my senior year in the state championship. It was pretty close.
When Coach Lanning's kind of asked about the decision to go out there and to play you, he said that you've earned your stripes. What does that mean to you, earning your stripes, and how do you feel like you've earned this opportunity to be the guy that they call on when something like this happens? I think just coming every day, coming ready to work, and doing my job. That's about it.
Expand on that a bit, Brock. What does that look like, though? Because I would imagine all the quarterbacks feel like they're doing their job. So what do you feel like you're doing better, or what do you feel like you're doing best? Is it the preparation and understanding of all the various checks, all the various things that go into it in the job? Is it physically some things that you're able to do? What do you feel like you're doing that is separating yourself?
I think I'm just coming in ready to work. I think that's it.
The rain is on everybody's mind. What do you tell yourself to be able to go out there and perform when it's this wet out?
Just making sure you're keeping your hands dry, and making sure I'm watching the ball and getting the ball to the mesh point. That's it. Yeah. You a Sheldon kid, Bryce a South Eugene kid. Did you guys ever play each other in high school, and do you have any sense of Eugene rivalry there? No, I think I was a freshman when Bryce was a senior, so no, we never got to play him. Any rivalry there? No. We're good friends.
Can you give us the scouting report on the way the ball comes out of James Ferguson Reynolds' hand?
I thought it looked pretty good. It sucks we got a little penalty there, but yeah, I've been seeing that in practice, and he's done a pretty good job.
Yes, he's from Australia. I'm not sure how much football he's thrown in his life. Were you surprised, I guess, seeing it in practice that it comes out that well?
Yeah, I mean, especially in the rain, that was impressive.
That's Brock Thomas after a strong second half, leading the Ducks to a victory in the Big Ten Conference over Wisconsin, even threw a touchdown pass. But it wasn't to a wide receiver or a running back or a tight end. It was Janoris Wilson. We're hearing from him when we return after this Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by one of your local branches today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
When life blindsides you with an injury, you need a team that's tough. For over 30 years, Morgan & Morgan has been fighting for the people. This season, we're proud to partner with Oregon Athletics. Because whether it's on the field or in the courtroom, we're both determined to do what it takes to win. Morgan & Morgan, proud partner of Oregon Athletics. Injured? Dial pound law. Morgan & Morgan, 10150 Southwest 6th Avenue, Portland. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Back to the Country Financial Studios in 60 seconds. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA. It's really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families. And one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
This message is for Karina, our mom who finished her high school diploma at age 28. Hi, Mom. It's Emmettith and Nicholas. Congratulations on getting your diploma. You worked so hard and have taught us so much. We love you.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
We're back inside the Country Financial Studio. It's Duck Insider, brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Ryan Milano here with you on a Monday after a Saturday victory for Oregon football in which there were 2 rushing touchdowns and 1 passing touchdown from Brock Thomas to Janoris Wilson. Janoris Wilson's stat line: 1 catch for 1 yard, 1 touchdown with a long of 1, an average of 1, and 1 target. And 2 jersey numbers, 78 and 35. He wore 35 when he caught the touchdown. Janoris Wilson, the second touchdown of his career. He spoke with the media after another trip to the end zone.
Coach mentioned you guys practiced that play to you. You've been doing it for weeks. As the game's developing, though, and you see the play calling trending more toward runs, are you thinking there's a chance you'll get your number called in that situation?
Yeah, eventually it's going to come. You know, we work goal line plays, a lot for our formations and stuff, as everybody does. So eventually, it's going to come a time and point where I'm going to down block, make a block for a guy who's going to score. So, yeah.
Which one was better, this one or last year's?
I think this one right here, just because right before I went on, I actually said a prayer to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. So, and I said, if you bless me with this touchdown, I'm gonna give the glory back to you. So this is me giving my glory back to him right now. But I'll say this one right here, just because it was raining and it was over the shoulder. So yeah.
Other than the outcome, how similar or different is the play or the play design compared to last year's touchdown?
It was more of a run this time than a pass compared to last year. So that's really the only difference, honestly. More people on the goal line as well. Other than that, not really much difference.
Remember last year you switched your number for that Michigan game, and you were expecting to get a touchdown in that game. It didn't come. It came in that Maryland game. But you've been wearing the 35 for a while now. So how long have you been pestering Dan and Coach Stein about getting the ball in your hands eventually at some point this season?
It just comes when it comes. It's not really up to me. But we have been practicing for a little minute. Practice makes perfect. And, the result is the result. So we've just been practicing for a while, and it just happened.
How does the process start to where coaches find out that you have hands? And are you at all worried about just being labeled as just a possession receiver and not being able to rack up some yardage there?
Yeah, it's actually a funny. So I'm from Florida, so they always say you get the athletic guys from Florida, this and that. So that kind of what started it. But like I said last year, Coach, when I first got it, Coach Stein came in. He didn't even say a word. As soon as he walked in, he said catch, and he threw something at me. And then I dropped it at first. Well, I dropped it, and then he was like, "Oh man!" And then he explained the rundown of the play, and then he explained it to the whole line room. And then once the whole line room heard it, everybody started getting crunk and scratching on the tables and stuff like that. So that's how it originally came about. So yeah, and with the position, I'm just an athlete, man. Heck yeah.
How long did you work on that end zone dance, or was that spontaneous?
I worked on it for at least, let's say, 3 weeks. At first they didn't want me to do it because I don't know if y'all seen the Key and Peele skit with the 3 pumps. I didn't want to get the 3 pump rule. So yeah, eventually originally I wasn't gonna do it, but eventually when it just happened, man, I just said freak it, man. Just go ahead and just go for it. If they threw the flag, they just threw the flag. But thank God they didn't throw it. So yeah.
I don't think you guys did it tonight, but last week you guys moved Harkey into guard and you to tackle. What do you guys like about that combo? And what do you think goes well with that going forward?
Just the physicality that it brings, you know, the teamwork that it brings as well. Just something new and different to bring into the offensive line room. Only 5 can play the position, but that doesn't mean you can't keep working, bringing your best every day. So I'll just say it's just the result of just hard work, just not giving up, just staying the course and staying humble and just keep working, hard work.
Again, on that 35 jersey, does that just show up in your locker one day? And, did you get to pick the number, or is that a sign?
Nah, I didn't get to pick the number. If I did, I'd probably go back to 91, though, because I really liked the 91. 35 is just, no offense to anybody that wears 35, but you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it just showed up one day.
I see that you're repping the gear, some of the gear that you guys got for this week. Just what was this kind of week like? Maybe learning a little bit more about the Grateful Dead and their connection here in Eugene, and getting to be able to celebrate and honor them with some cool gear. That's pretty exclusive.
Yeah, they taught us a lot. Actually, today when we went into our meeting room and we got there originally, they had taught us about the Grateful Dead, and they showed us what was going on. And actually, our QB, I don't know if Brock told y'all, but Brock Dad was a security guard for the Grateful Dead, a concert one day, and he told us a story about what happened out there. So, yeah, we learned a lot from the Grateful Dead.
You mentioned the dance. Coming back to the sideline, what were they saying after you hit that in the end zone?
Man, I couldn't even get a word out. All I felt was pop, 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 pop. It was just like the raindrops were just a bunch of hands. So everybody was just excited for me. We've been working it for a while, and it just felt good to just see it finally pay off. The excitement that it brought everybody, even on offense and defense, just everybody coming together.
Last week against Rutgers, the offense just dominated. Kind of this game, different conditions. Your team had to work a little bit harder to kind of find your rhythm. Just how did you like the way that the offense kind of prevailed through some of the adversity that your team saw tonight?
It's just a true testament to everybody. You never know when your time is going to come, so just always prepare. And I feel like the conditions, in the circumstances that happened, just everybody was prepared and ready for whenever their moment was called or whatever was going to happen at that moment. So I feel like just the preparation that we do throughout the week is what really helped us in that moment.
What did you make of Brock and what you saw from him out there today?
Amazing. He does it in practice, so it wasn't really a surprise for me. Me personally, it wasn't really a surprise for me. I don't know about everybody else. But he did amazing, man. Kudos to him.
Jordan's first touchdown today, they flip Alex from one side to the other side with you, and then you got both of you guys blocking for him over there. Just those jumbo formations, when you guys do those unbalanced lines to overpower guys, how do you think that gives you an advantage, and how much do you like doing that as a big guy, as an O-lineman?
I love it. Me personally, goal line, that's where we live at, just to put somebody forward. So I feel like that just kind of comes easy to all of us as O-linemen, not just Alex and me, but just all of us in general. So I feel like it doesn't matter where we really lined up, honestly. Just as long as we just do what we're supposed to do and just do our job, I feel like the result that we want is going to be given.
Can you tell us more about Brock Thomas's dad being a security guard for the Grateful Dead?
He didn't really tell us much. He just said he was a security guard, and I don't know if I can say that. I'm not going to say too much on that because I don't know if they can get out in public, so I'm going to just leave it at that.
I know it never rains in Autzen Stadium. That's a crazy thought. But just to see the fans come out for the first ever, I think, tie-dye game tonight, how would you just rate the crowd's enthusiasm, especially being able to do such an exclusive jersey honor?
Yeah, just appreciation for them. Even when it, began to rain on and off, it's just appreciation for the enthusiasm and energy that they stayed consistent throughout the whole game. So I just show kudos to them, kudos to all of our fans. So yeah.
Love getting to hear from Janoris Wilson. That guy is energetic, effervescent, and he found the end zone once. His teammate found the end zone twice. Hearing from the freshman running back Jordan Davison when we return on Duck Inside on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial. Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
Duck Insider continues from the Country Financial Studios in 1 minute on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
This message is for Shauna, my mom, who just finished her high school diploma. I wanted to say I'm so proud of you for finishing school. You told me it's never too late to achieve your dreams. I hope to make you as proud as you have made me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Don't act like that. Don't wear that. Don't think that. I've heard everything you tell yourself every time you felt different. And I want you to know that you can be vulnerable and powerful. That taking care of your mind is taking care of everyone you love and who loves you. Love your mind. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Wasn't it awesome to get Ty Burrell introducing Shout on Saturday? That was a whole bunch of fun. Because I want to dance. I want to dance, especially after a 21-7 win over Wisconsin, where Oregon continues their winning ways, in large part thanks to the true freshman running back Jordan Davison, who is having one heck of a freshman campaign. Over 100 yards on the ground in this game against Wisconsin. 102 yards and 2 touchdowns. He earned the Big Ten Freshman of the Week honors. Congratulations to Jordan Davison, who feels like he finds the end zone game after game after game after game. He averaged 6.5 yards per carry, 16 attempts, the most of any Oregon running back this year. Over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jordan Davison, you don't normally get to hear true freshmen speaking at the podium post-game. When you're putting together games like Jordan Davison is week in and week out, you get to hear from Jordan Davison. Let's hear from the freshman running back and his thoughts after the win.
Not sure how many rain games you've played in your life, but what goes into that for you and, keeping control of the ball and ball security and how to go out there today?
Just practicing it. We practiced it all week. We was prepared for it. We expected it. Going through the ball security circuits, and Coach Sam preaches it all the time. If you can't protect the ball, you know good to the team.
Just take us through the 99-yard touchdown drive where you get 9 carries alone on that one drive. Just what is that like being out there when the offense is not just moving the ball well? You're obviously a huge part of it. That's nearly as many carries in the second quarter as you've had all season.
Yeah.
So just what is it like being out there for a drive that is that long and then it's capped off with a touchdown?
It's just the mentality. 99 yards, you look at it as a positive. Like, we get to go break their spirits going 99 yards. So Coach Stein, He put all his trust in us, and we went out there and did that.
The passing game was sputtering. The defense was playing well, but what did it feel like for you when it became clear that the running game was going to have to probably carry the day and you were going to be a big part of that?
We was up for the challenge, the whole room. We was ready. Brock came in, stepped up. The defense got stops.
As strong rush team as they are, how does it feel to be able to just slip through and bounce off the defense like you did all night?
It felt good. Finally getting to open up, running space, break tackles in the open field. It felt good.
Your thoughts on Brock and how he performed with the offense there in the second half, and just your observations of having, I guess, been around him for 8 or 9 months now.
He works hard. He comes to work every day. Like they say, rent is due every day, and he showed that he was ready and prepared. Everybody in that room, they compete, the whole room. So we see it every day.
you get a big man touchdown like that for Janoris. What's that like, just being on the offensive side of the ball and just celebrating with them?
Oh man, you love to see the big guys get in the end zone. All the work they do up front for us, I feel we had the best O-line in the country, and I felt like that showed today. And you know, being able to get them in the end zone is always fun.
Seemed like you kind of hit a breakthrough in that second quarter. Just what was it? Maybe what were the conversations on the sideline about? Maybe you talked about the mindset. Just what did you have to kind of do in order to get that breakthrough finally late in the second quarter?
I felt like we just had like plays that we could have capitalized more, and the switch just kind of flipped. You know, missed opportunities and just taking advantage of every opportunity that we had to move the ball.
You didn't get your first carry on the ground until that drive. Could you feel the momentum of the team kind of flipping behind you as you kind of found your rhythm on that drive and had 9 carries for 49 yards there?
That was all the O-line. I mean, I'm just running behind them.
In a game, especially like a wet one like this, is ball security it's still an instinctual thing, or is it something you have to tell yourself every carry?
You got to tell yourself that every carry, you know.
What does it sound like in your head?
Protect the ball, protect the ball, protect the ball. Like before the play, the ball is even snapped, protect the ball.
That's Jordan Davison. He's been protecting the ball, and he's been scoring points. A big addition to Oregon's running back stable that continues to, it feels like year after year, get more talented and more talented. And Jordan Davison's a big piece of this year's Oregon rushing attack, a big piece of the 21-7 victory over Wisconsin. The defense was a really big piece. You hold your opponent to 7 points, and really a deep ball that floated in the air and somehow found a Wisconsin receiver that you could have gone either way. It was the only reason why Oregon didn't pitch a shutout. Hearing from the defense. Coming up when we return after this, it's Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by one of your local branches today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
We know you turn to the Duck Store for all your game day needs. And for students at the University of Oregon, it's even more. Class supplies, jobs, a seat on our board, a place to take a quick coffee break. Because we're your student-first, non-profit college store, every purchase you make directly supports the very community we serve. From working in our counters to studying in the classroom, from directing our stores to cheering in the stands, the people we serve, the students, are the very people who are the Duck Store.
More Duck Insider from the Country Financial Studios after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
I'm a pretty great multitasker. I can wash dishes and do laundry. I can roller skate while walking my dog. I can even order lunch while doing my homework. But I can't use my phone while driving. A distracted driver is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. So when it comes to driving, please, don't be a multitasker.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
How serious is youth vaping? Irreversible lung damage serious. 1 in 10 kids vape serious, which warrants a serious conversation from a serious parental figure like yourself. Not the seriously know-it-all sports dad or the seriously smart podcaster. It requires a serious conversation that is best had by you. No, seriously, the best person to talk to your child about vaping is you. To start the conversation, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Back inside the Country Financial Studio, it's Duck Insider, brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Ryan Milano here with you on a Monday, a 21-7 victory for Oregon football over Wisconsin, in which the Ducks really limited Wisconsin. The Badger offense had it rolling early in the first quarter, and then All of a sudden, Oregon got the ball at a 99-yard drive, and it felt like the momentum completely flipped into the Ducks' favor. And then the not rain, because it's not rain, because it never rains at Autzen Stadium, started falling. The precipitation from the sky, the clouds were crying, but it wasn't rain. It definitely wasn't rain. It never rains at Autzen Stadium. And then Oregon completely dominated the game from there on out, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Wisconsin was able to score in the fourth quarter in some weird circumstances. There was a play that kind of got chucked up into double coverage. Dylan Thieneman slipped, and all of a sudden, Eugene Hilton Jr. somehow had the football on the goal line. It was the only score that Oregon allowed in the football game. Oregon's defense was strong, and Bryce Betcher continues to lead this Oregon defense. He didn't lead the team in tackles in this game. Only 6 of them for Bryce Betcher. He was one shy of Dylan Thieneman, but 6 tackles, 4 of them solo, a tackle for loss, and he broke up 2 passes as well as forced a fumble. Good all-around day for Bryce Betcher. He spoke with the media after the win.
One of your kind of assessment of Brock coming in a tough spot, and another Eugene kid, I'm probably a little bit of pride, just kind of your assessment and the team kind of rallying behind him.
Yeah, man, I'm proud of that kid. He's, shown it in practice every single day, so it wasn't surprising when he came in, especially in a rain game, and performed like the way he did with that poise. There's a couple of big plays out of him, and I was pumped. I was sitting there on the sideline talking to Coach B. Mike, trying to go over adjustments, but I'm looking at that scoreboard watching him play, so that was awesome.
What can you say just about the way the defense played tonight, despite the conditions? And can you maybe just describe how hard it is to play in a game like this when and the challenges that come with the conditions you saw tonight?
Yeah, personally, I love playing in the rain. I'm sure the offense has a different point of view than that. But on defense, I love it. It makes it fun sliding around, gets the guys pumped up, and the ball comes out a little easier. But I loved it today.
What was kind of the, pride or frustration of giving up points to Wisconsin, a team that hadn't scored in a couple weeks? How did the defense handle that?
Yeah, obviously we were pretty frustrated. They had that one deep ball on third down that they got, and then obviously punched it in there. You prepare to not give up any points, and, sometimes, the offense does because they're good too. We just got to, study that drive, see what they did better than us.
You're a Eugene kid, and you're not unfamiliar with tie-dye. What did this game mean to you, the Grateful Dead, the honoring of that? What was that all for you?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I don't really know a whole lot about the Grateful Dead. I think it's cool that we get to honor them and those that, listen to them, and we're a part of that culture. Like I said, personally, I don't really know much about it, but it was, it's some cool jerseys.
They were cool jerseys. They were cool on the field. And I got to, as a spotter up in the booth, as the person who's telling Jerry Allen, through my binoculars, who has the ball, I got to give big props to the Oregon EQ staff, because those jerseys, you could see perfectly if the names on the back, the letters, they were huge. It was so easy to see. The green with the hint of tie-dye yellow popped so well against the black jerseys. The numbers were big. They were defined. Good job. Good job. You were keeping the spotters in mind. Oregon equipment staff, good work on the jerseys, and they looked super cool. Of course. And also honoring the Grateful Dead, really fun. And the defense, they honored Oregon football the way that they played, with limiting Wisconsin to almost any points. Dylan Thieneman, he did lead the team in tackles with 7. He had 2 pass breakups as well. Tatum Tuioti, I really thought that Tatum Tuioti had a safety, guys. I really did. I thought that he tackled the running back in the end zone. The running back got out for Wisconsin, but still, 5 tackles, including that tackle for loss for Tatum Tuioti. A good day all around. For Dylan Thieneman, Tatum Tuioti, they also spoke with the media after Oregon's victory.
Dylan, a game like that, given the way the play calling, it turned into a run battle, both teams running the ball, and given the conditions, just fun to play in, kind of as a defensive player, just knowing the style of play it was going to be today?
Yeah, it's definitely fun. Playing in the rain, it's like something you dream of as a little kid. Just being out there and just coming down, ready to hit, but they're still taking shots, so we're still ready to read our keys and play the pass.
Tatum, I know I asked you earlier this week, but just to see Brock go out there again in a time where your team really kind of needed some offensive juice, just what can you say about the way that he handled and prepared for that situation?
That's him. That's what he does. He ain't fazed by nothing. So when it's opportunity come, man, he gonna take it. And just like I said earlier, he's a dog. No matter what, he gonna go out and he gonna execute.
Dylan, you had a lot of almost interceptions in this game. Is that frustrating for you at a point? How do you guys feel like you played defensively against the pass all night?
I feel like we played good just until the towards the end of that fourth quarter. We started to let up some stuff. I let up a big pass that I needed to play a little better on, but I think just get back to work. Just gotta catch those when the opportunities come to you.
Dylan, Aaron Flowers was a captain tonight. How has he grown just in this season? What's it like playing next to him?
I say it's awesome. He's a funny dude. I love being out there with him. We communicate, talk back and forth. Night before the game, like we room together, so we'd be like watching some film, talk about like what we're gonna do. If you get this, like do this. Like we just keep going back and forth. So it's fun to be out there playing with him.
This is for both you guys. In a game like this where points are tough to come by, do you guys get pretty jacked up watching your offensive line and the running backs sort of get going and grinding out those yards and getting some points? And what were your impressions of that group?
Yeah, I would say obviously the offense depends on defense, defense depends on the offense. I think defensively, all we can do is just get the ball back to our offense, and I think we did a great job for the most part doing that.
Yeah, I say it's awesome to watch the offense go, and watch some of the young guys in the offense go, and then Noah, and then seeing Brock out there ball. It was really fun.
Dylan, you mentioned kind of enjoying playing in rain games. How does that change the dynamics on the field? What are the things that change when the ball's wet, the ground's wet, everything's wet?
Just ready for the ball to come out. You typically get more runs, so you just need to read your keys, watch out for the play action, but just be ready to come down and make a hit.
For both you guys, Dan said that he's seen that touchdown celebration from Janoris a million times in practice, which means it usually comes against you guys. So curious, what was it like seeing it in a game against someone else tonight?
The Darius is awesome. I think he nailed it. I don't think we'd seen that play in practice, though. So, they just pulled it out. So it was awesome to see him execute that.
All I know, last year, I don't know if you guys remember, he scored another touchdown. So that man, he was on top of it when it comes to celebrations. And when he gets this opportunity, he's going to do it.
It was fun watching Janoris Wilson in the end zone. It was fun watching Oregon's defense execute. It was, I'm not sure if fun is the word, but it was certainly a great time at Autzen Stadium and the embracing of the atmosphere. Thank you, Duck fans, for being out. Now Oregon headed into a bye week, which is a work week until they go on the road to play Iowa next Saturday. A huge win for Oregon soccer over Washington on Sunday. A battle for Oregon volleyball against Wisconsin on Sunday as well. Whole week of Oregon athletics. Joey has more to break down for you tomorrow on Duck Insider. Good win for football. Go Ducks, everybody.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time and